Well, we have a beautiful day in the woods. I'm wanting to play on my bike. So the big hog, it won't run. So I was going to tinker on it, but the wife says I need to make another episode of Backwoods Mechanics. You know, the last one was Backwoods Body Shop. So we're going to take some tools. Got a little birdie. Hey, Mr. Birdie. Camp robber. Hey, nose. They're eating your dog food. Go get your food. The birds are eating your food. Anyways, it's been sitting for a few years in the shed. It actually has fuel in it. So we all know that fuel is going to be absolutely garbage. Turn the fuel on. Turn the choke on. Turn the ignition on. We have the rope to pull. On. Oh. Like I said, it's not running. If I get it running, I can't get it to move because the clutch is sticking. So I'm going to dump the fuel, tear apart the centrifugal clutch, see if we can make this run. Do a little pause if I can do it even idling. Oh, we tipped her sideways and pulled the rope a few more times and she fires up now. But Mr. Clutch, as soon as you go to engage it, she don't stay running. So let's open it up, see what we find. Alright, we got the cover off. I've actually shut the fuel off to the carburetor, so I'm trying to run the fuel out so I can drain it. And this will be our centrifugal clutch right there. I give her just a little bit of gas. And that speeds up, that's supposed to put tension on that. And then it dies because it chokes out and doesn't have the power to engage it. But then this is growling and making all sorts of horrible noise. And we can see our spring tension thing there. So I don't know much, but we will tear it apart, clean it up, see if I can make it do anything better. And we'll start by pulling this chain, I guess, and taking this tensioner off. Take this bolt out. Looks like I got a cotter pin in there that I have no idea how I'm going to get off with the lack of tools I have. I basically have just like a itty bitty emergency kit of tools just in the back shed for just whatever. So yay. Beautiful day though. Absolutely beautiful day. So why not sit in the sun and play on a bike? So we got the centrifugal clutch off. Motor spinning well, everything looks pretty good. The bearing for the tensioner is in pretty decent shape. The centrifugal clutch itself is spinning really nice. It doesn't look like a lot of corrosion, but there's a little bit of rust and things down in the springs. If you can get this cotter pin apart, or a snap ring, if you had snap ring pliers, that could pull this apart so I can pull this out, try to get into those springs and see if we can get this thing cleaned up a little bit better. While I dig for that, option 2 is to find an old metal tin that I had, put a little gasoline in it, and I'm going to put this in here and let her soak and splash her around. And then I've got some 2-cycle oil and engine oil I might dump in with it and just kind of lubricate it and clean it and see if that'll make a difference. I'll also look to see if I can figure out some other way of getting those snap rings off. I think while doing that I will drain the fuel and maybe pull the spark plug. Actually, it fired right up when I fired it up the first time this morning. So I don't know if I need to clean the spark plug, but definitely get rid of that old fuel because it basically has no power. But I'll keep cleaning this and spinning it and seeing if we can get any junk to come out of that clutch. Get that clutch to lock up a little bit better and see what happens. Well, air cleaner's good. I am going to pull the fuel line here, tip the tank out, get as much of that old fuel out of as possible. Like I said, it's been sitting for few years in the shed. Used to have it to kind of take kids around, that kind of thing. And kids have been off and out of the house for many years now. We've got this been soaking. You kind of see crud building up inside the can. I keep spinning it, and I take a screwdriver. Where did I put a screwdriver? Over there. And you need 2 hands to do that, but you get right in these little gaps and you separate those out, and that's where some of the rust was sticking. And you keep that freed up and get that spinning free, and then I'll pour a bunch of oil and some different things in it. I don't have any WD-40 anything. I found an old can of 1030 and some turbine oil. I'll probably just lubricate the heck out of it with that. Get that spinning with that, and that should be good. So I think just get that centrifugal clutch to spin better, put some fresh fuel in it. Take it for its ride for the first time in years. And drive it here all the way. I don't know, where should we drive it? Should we go down, dig down the road and go up there? Take the little doggies for a run? That's beautiful, isn't it? Beautiful day. Pristine clouds. A little chilly, can't lie. It's a little chilly today. Back on the project. Got the clutch all reassembled. Got the belts back on. Or the belts.
Those are metal belts. Metal belts are called chains in some parts of the country.
That's all lubed up. That was spinning really nice. Got the fuel out of it. Got a lot of the fuel in this old container. Doesn't look too wonderful. We'll keep that for, I like to call Boy Scout juice. Dump it on a little bit of lumber and start the fires in the evening. All right, so I'm gonna throw the fuel filter or the fuel line back in it and dump some fresh fuel in it and yank on some yank on a rope and see what she gets. All right, got the fresh fuel in it. I dumped a little bit of 2-cycle fuel in it just for lubrication factors, and it doesn't get ridden very much. It makes it sit a little bit longer. It's really kind of funny that that's the fuel tank, and this up here is a little storage box that, oh, I have crackers from a million years ago. Survival food. And a little toolkit in case I get stranded when I am actually out bombing around in it. It's the big beast. I think I bought this thing online for a couple $100. It showed up in a crate. It was kind of hilarious, and I don't know, for what it is and what you pay for it, I have no complaints. So we will put that back in the run position, turn the key on, turn the choke on. Let's see if it will, how many Yankees on that it'll take. Or one. And take the choke off. See how that clutch sounds? It was screaming before. Well, motor still dies off. Okie dokie. So if I choke her, leave it in choke. Give her a yank. Fires right up. Matter of fact, if I leave the choke on, clutch engages, and I can kind of, sort of drive it around the yard. I turn the clutch off, or the choke off, and she dies. Can't give it any fuel, even after it warms up a little bit. So if you rev it up, turn the clutch off, or the choke off, I think I need to take the carburetor, blow it out. Probably got some junk inside the carburetor, because it definitely, see, when you rev it up with the choke out, it definitely dies. So pull the carb off and see if there's any crud in any of those tiny little orifices and throw it back on. All right, we took the carburetor off, dumped the bowl out. To be honest, there wasn't. The bowl actually looked pretty decent, had a little bit of junk in the bottom. And I blew through the orifices, So I didn't see much, but it doesn't take much to do anything. So let's try it again. I have the fuel now on. I have the choke on. I tried it again like it always did. That sounds better than it did with the choke on. Let's put it in the run position and see if it'll run. Come on. Same stuff, different day. Oh no, that's a Governor. Or what do we got going on here? Oh, that's Governor there. There's that. I'll get it warmed up and see if I need to adjust the Governor. Well, it says right here, choke, and then run is on that side. If I put it to the run position, it sounds better now. Maybe it needs to get warmed up. I just went around the block with it choked, or around the block, around my truck basically, and it ran actually decent choke. So let's take it for a little. So I'm gonna leave it. Yeah, it sounds decent. I'm gonna leave it unchoked, see what it does. By the way, this is a tiny little. Yeah, see. Yep. I'm gonna leave it choked for a little bit. Maybe it's just cold. You guys want to go for a run? Let's go down for a run. Hey now. You coming? Go for a ride, goes. Dun, 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 dun. Go down to the creek. Made her down in one piece without killing myself. Creek is really low. We did not get much snow this year at all. This should be way higher. Hey! Get back here. Leave the squirrels alone. You swimming? You gotta build that bridge. 2016 we put that bridge in. Because the previous bridge the state didn't find adequate for cabins. Wow. Anywho's, Backwoods Body Shop, after 3 years of sitting in a barn, it's back on the road, saving another one for another generation. Or I'm just screwing around having fun. Throw the cover on it. It's sounding a lot better. Maybe it just need to be warmed up. It's still unchoked though. It still seems to run better choked. Well, I'll throw the cover on it. Let's ride to the top of that and I'll take some pictures and call it a day for this little get the mini bike running. Come on, guys. Apparently, that little cover is important. Keep my heel off and we got to the top of the mountain. The mighty big ass bike got us here. No, it didn't. Be honest. Hold on, breath. I had to get off and run next to it a few times. It stayed running. Got us up here. We're not quite gonna make it to the top of that. Let's take a second and admire a view, shall I? I shall, thank you. It's a great little area to exterminate some gophers on a not so busy weekend. I like to hike from right there up that ridge, crisscross across here, go right up that saddle, and then come on the backside and get on top of that, and you can get right on top of that. It's a full day hike. You can see the world from up there. Mid-July, August, it's a beautiful hike. Little snow up there right now. Don't need to do that. Bike got us here, kinda. Hope everyone's having a great one. I honestly wasn't even going to do this. My wife said, make a little video, so I made a video. Peace out, love y'all.
Bye-bye.